So, what if I told you there's a company you've probably never even heard of that solved a problem in Latin America so huge investors valued it at over $1 billion? Well, this is the story of Kushki, a FinTech powerhouse that is completely rewriting the rules of the game. Let's dive in.
Right. This is them. Kushki. The logo is clean, modern, simple. But don't let that fool you, because behind that very elegant design is a solution to one of the most ridiculously complex problems you can imagine. And solving it, well, that's what unlocked an absolutely staggering amount of value.
Yeah, $1.5 billion. That was the valuation back in 2022. Kushki officially became a unicorn, and then some. So the billion-dollar question, literally, is how on earth did they do it? Well, the answer doesn't start with Kushki. It starts with the massive continent-sized headache they were built to solve.
Okay, so to really get the genius of Kushki, you first have to understand what a complete and utter nightmare it is to try and accept digital payments across Latin America. See, it's not one big, happy, unified market. No, it's more like a giant fragmented puzzle with dozens of different pieces. And guess what? None of them fit together. The number one problem is fragmentation. Just imagine for a second you're a big global company and you want to expand. To sell your stuff in Latin America, you can't just plug into one single system. Nope. You need a separate setup for Mexico, and then another one for Colombia, another for Peru. You get the idea. Every single country has its own banks, its own favorite payment methods, its own rules. It's a total technical and logistical nightmare.
And all this fragmentation creates this whole cascade of problems for any business trying to operate there. You've got to integrate with a bunch of different payment processors. You have to deal with a maze of local payment methods, everything from credit cards to literal cash vouchers. And because of all this complexity, transactions fail at a shockingly high rate. It's just an expensive, inefficient mess that absolutely stifles growth. So, into all of this chaos walks Kushki with this brilliantly simple solution. They decided to build the one piece of tech that could finally connect everything together. A single key, if you will, to unlock the entire region's economic potential.
This quote from them really just nails it. They aren't just another payment gateway. They are building the fundamental financial infrastructure for an entire region. Think about it like this. They're the ones building the digital financial highways, connecting all these markets that were once totally isolated into one single, powerful economic network.
And when you put the old way next to the Kushki way, the difference is just night and day. Before, every single transaction had to bounce between a ton of middlemen, which just increased the chances of it failing. Kushki streamlines all of that, which means authorization rates go way up. And instead of these painful country-by-country software integrations, businesses get one single regional integration. It turns a costly, complex mess into something that's beautifully simple and efficient.
The fancy technical term for all this magic is payment orchestration. And honestly, the analogy is perfect. Kushki is basically the conductor of an orchestra. Each musician is a different bank or a different payment method or a local processor. And a business? They only need to talk to the conductor, to Kushki. And Kushki makes sure all those different instruments play in perfect harmony to get the payment processed.
Now, of course, if you're going to be the trusted conductor for billions of dollars in transactions, you better have some seriously powerful technology. Kushki's platform isn't just simple on the outside. It is incredibly robust and secure under the hood.
A huge key to their success is their modern architecture. They built their entire system to be 100% serverless on Amazon Web Services. Now, what does that mean? Well, think of it like a smart power grid that can instantly give you more electricity when demand spikes. This lets them handle massive volumes of transactions without breaking a sweat, and it builds this rock-solid foundation for them to keep growing.
And their security is just, wow, it's multi-layered and super impressive. They've got the highest level of certification in the industry, PCI Level 1. They use a cool technique called tokenization, which basically swaps out sensitive credit card data for a secure, unique code. But here's the real game changer, their use of AI. They've integrated tools like Sift that can spot and block fraudulent transactions in real time, protecting both the businesses and their customers.
Okay, so we've got the problem, we've got the really slick tech solution, but where is Kushki actually making an impact? Let's take a look at their footprint on the ground.
Kushki has strategically built out its network across 5 of Latin America's most important economies. You've got Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Peru, and Ecuador. By setting up this deep, powerful presence in these key markets, they've basically created a network that covers a huge chunk of the entire region's digital economy.
So who's actually using this thing? Well, pretty much everyone. We're talking major e-commerce retailers, online schools,
global gaming companies. But what's really fascinating to me is that even other payment companies are building their own businesses on top of Kushki's infrastructure. That right there tells you everything you need to know. They're not just another player in the game, they're a foundational layer of the digital economy for the whole region.
So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Kushki's $1.5 billion valuation isn't just about processing payments. It's about the fact that they went out and built a core, unifying piece of financial infrastructure in a part of the world that desperately needed it. They standardized the chaos, and in doing so, they've unlocked a whole new wave of digital economic growth.
And that kind of brings us to a final, pretty cool question to think about. If Kushki has successfully built the financial highways for Latin America, who's going to build the next generation of innovative companies, the vehicles, so to speak, that are going to drive on them and create the region's future? It's a pretty exciting thought. Thanks for digging into this with me.